Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eric Taylor with GRC Cybersecurity. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Unfortunately, the banner at the bottom is not correct. I am not Dr. Jerry Auger, but again, Eric Taylor with GRC Cyber Solutions. While we wait for everybody to pile in, I wish y'all a very good morning. Hope everybody is doing very well today. Some things on the radar to keep in mind of if you do have to keep CVEs or CEs, continuing education, please, put your, say, hey, I'm from blah, blah, blah. So that way, if you ever get audited, you could be able to prove that you were here to get your continuing education credit. So those who don't know what CEs are, that's what that is, right? So continuing education. A lot of the certificate bodies require you to keep going through that continuing education, so that way you can be able to prove that you are staying in the know and up to date on the latest things in the industry that you have been certified for. A lot of industries out there do that. I was thinking about this morning. We got the whole team replay hashtag going on. Just try to mess with Jerry a little bit. Let's do team live. Let's make team live something, right? So next minute or so, unfortunately, because I don't have the same setup as Jerry, we'll sit here, we'll drink our morning coffee, and kind of go through the introductions and the hellos of everything, and we'll get this thing started, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we got 60 people so far in here. This is good. Hey, Jax, how you doing? Good to see you. I'll be probably reaching out to you a little bit later on today as I travel. Team live, love it, love it. Give Jerry some more ideas for some swag or something. So you got team replay, and let's try to see if we can do team live. How about that? Maybe I'll mess with him. It's like always keeping it spicy by being team live or something. I don't know. Just throwing ideas out there. Live is away. Yes. Mandalorian lover. Love it. From Japan. Oh my goodness. Hello from Japan. Hey, what's up, Gary? So, Carrie, do you have a bot hitting that like button so many times? I'm just curious. I did take a look at a couple of the things that are on the CISO series this morning, and things look like it may get a little spicy. So we'll see how tame I can keep this thing this morning. So we're roughly about 3 minutes into it. Argentina, we've got Japan, we've got Argentina. No, just wear my finger out. Man, Carrie, are you going through like a mouse every 2 weeks? I swear. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Cybersuit team live. That may be a thing. It may become a thing. This will be pretty cool. All right. So those who don't know, if you're new here to the podcast, we always tune into cseries.com for all the latest stuff we do. Our best to do an analysis of these and kind of give our expert on said topics, and so that way you are more armed throughout the day. While I am not a CISO, like Dr. Jerry is, I will give you from my technical experience background, and we'll kind of go from there. So with that said, we will go ahead and kick this thing off.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
It's Tuesday, June 28th, 2022. Ransomware gang launched a bug bounty. Bug bounty programs have become increasingly common with tech companies in recent years, offering monetary rewards for security researchers who disclose vulnerabilities. Now it seems that cybercrime organizations are following suit. With the launch of Lockbit 3.0, the Ransomware as a Service organization also introduced its own bug bounty program, offering rewards between $1,000 and $1 million for submitted vulnerabilities, including things like website bugs, locker bugs, and core network vulnerabilities. Lockbit will also pay bounties for brilliant ideas on improving its operation, and its top reward will be for doxing its affiliate manager known as Lockbit Sub. Needless to say, trusting a criminal enterprise to reliably pay you is perhaps dubious, and helping them is illegal in many countries.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the spicy world of Eric. Here we go. There's going to be a special place in hell for people who help these folks. I'm just going to say it. I may not get invited back to this podcast, and I'll say it in front of time. I'm sorry, but there's a special place in hell for these people. Not only, I get to some degree the ransomware, you don't have much money, blah, 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 whatever. I don't agree with them breaching networks by any means. I don't agree with them getting paid for breaching networks, but you're actually going to get paid supposedly through a bug bounty program to help them be more secure and make their illegal activities more, I'm not sure not lucrative, but I mean, it will be lucrative, but they'll make it more efficient, right? I mean, those who don't know, I mean, Lockbit's been around for a while though. 3.0, and the reason why they're doing this, 3.0 is a new version. They were running under 2.0 for probably about a little over a year now, maybe 2 years. So now they're releasing 3.0, the next rendition of Lockbit. I have not had a chance to get a sample copy of this ransomware to see how that payload is a little bit different than some of the previous 1.0 and 2.0, but I'm going to be interested to get my hands on that sample. I should have it by the end of the week, so that way I can compare the code and see, what TTPs from a digital forensics incident response company could be able to help track what this payload does. Plus, on the cybersecurity side, because we do a ton of that too, but defending companies. So we just need to know what their TTPs are and how those are advancing, so that way we can better protect. So maybe we'll do a one-off episode on that one on our channel to kind of show how that is. But yeah, I wish we could just lock these people into a dark corner and beat them extensively. So I just freaking drives me nuts.
Killnet claims DDoS on Lithuania. The Russian-linked hacking group claimed responsibility for a DDoS on the Baltic state country earlier this week. It says the action came in response to Lithuania's decision to block goods sanctioned in the EU from reaching the Russian exclave of Kaliningrad. The group says the attacks will continue until the government lifts the blockade. Earlier this month, we covered Killnet Italy for similar political reasons.
Y'all, this may show my age a little bit, but this right here reminds me of the old mob movies, right? You're going to have, the mob people, the good boys or whatever. I forget what the people who went around and did all the grunt work, but for our protection or for your protection, you're going to pay us money, right? It's kind of like that. It's like either you're going to sell shit to us. Sorry, I shouldn't cuss so much. You're going to sell crap to us, or we're going to make your life horrible. So just sell us crap. So, I really feel for the people of Russia, because a lot of them don't know what the heck is going on, because, we're unlike here in America and some of the other countries in the world, their information is very skewed. It's very narrow. So, it's that whole area over there is in real turmoil. I don't want to get too political on this one, right? But you're going to see more and more of this as things against Russia keeps continuing. Any of the sanctions or any of the other pressures that are being put on from world governments are being put onto Russia. Like I said, you're going to see more and more of this stuff continuing to go on, and maybe even escalating even further, because they are, in a diminished economy. There's people over there hurting. There's people over there suffering, things of that nature. Not to take away from Ukraine or anything like that, but like I said, you're going to see more and more of this garbage where they're going to come back and try to attack people who they believe are putting them in a financial strain, right? So, You know, Lockbit is believed to come out of Russia as well. So we'll see. But anyway, we'll carry on.
ICS security bill passes the House. Introduced last month, the Industrial Control Systems Cybersecurity Training Act seeks to amend the Homeland Security Act to authorize CISA to establish free training initiatives for ICS systems across the country. This includes virtual and in-person sessions and courses across skill levels. If passed into law, Congress will receive annual reports on courses and industry participants. The bill specifically calls out threats from Russia-backed actors to ICS systems as requiring an increased training regimen in both public and private sectors.
Yay! Finally, the government's doing something. Yay! I forget the gentleman's name now. He's a SANS instructor that was on the Simply Cyber's podcast probably a month ago now that does a ton of ICS work. And he was talking about, you know, the lack of people in cybersecurity for ICS. God, for some reason, I cannot remember his daggum name. But yeah, definitely check it out because that guy is really, really smart. He definitely knows his stuff, but seeing the government actually stepping up, turning it over to CISA and Jen Isserly to actually motivate and help people get into cybersecurity for the ICS space will definitely help improve, aka our infrastructure, right? Yeah, the CEO of Dragus. I can't remember his name, Black Knight. I can't. Oh god, it's escaping me. And as soon as I get off this thing, it's gonna pop in my head. But yeah, that's exactly who it is.
NIST releases macOS security guidance. The National Institute of Standards and Technology released a final version of this guidance for securing endpoints running the OS. The guidance derived from the open source macOS Science Project. NIST, CISA, and other federal agencies hope this guidance will eliminate the need to issue new cybersecurity guidance with each new macOS release and introduce work of the Security Compliance Project to a broader audience of organizations. The project's GitHub page provides secure baselines and rules that can serve as practical, actionable recommendations for properly configuring and managing macOS endpoint device security.
All right, so we'll get to that one in just a moment. But yeah, this is really good to see come out of the space. You know, most organizations, I would probably say, probably excessive of 90% is a Windows operating system world, right? Mac in the day tried to come up with their own version of a Windows or of a domain controller, and it was just a horrible, horrible nightmare and just a complete flop. Side note, yes, Rob Lee. Thank you, Joel, for mentioning that. I couldn't, like I said, I could not remember his name. Thank you for mentioning that. But yeah, definitely go back and check out that episode with Rob Lee and Jerry Auger. That was a really, really good talk, right? So, it was definitely a must watch. If you watched it, definitely go see it again. He's definitely an expert in an ICS space. It's one of those guys that when he talks, we should all listen a little bit, right? But anyway, back to this topic. So even in what we're seeing more and more Mac OS devices, not just iPhone, but actual Macintosh desktop, the iOS, or not the iOS, but the Mac OS devices being introduced into a network in an unmanaged state, right? Microsoft has been stepping up their efforts recently to help secure Mac OS through the company portal and through Endpoint Manager, which was originally called Intune. There's some controls that you could put in place, things of that nature. There's companies like Mass 360, things of that help you actually secure the iOS devices and some Mac OS devices. And so really seeing an actual framework designed, except for like, yeah, I think that's a good way to secure this freaking thing. You know, I'm about half Mac, half Windows, but I've been using Windows for literally forever in our organization. But yeah, we definitely have some Macs, so we're definitely learning it. So yeah, we'll see how it is. Yeah, Jamf is a good application. I'm not very versed in it. From my understanding, Jamf is a configuration and patching platform, if I'm not mistaken. But my ignorance on the complete functionality of Jamf is very limited. So I know of its existence and a couple things that it does, but I'm not very familiar with it. So I will do my best to study up on that this week as well. Best way to secure something is not to put it on the internet. Oh, but Joel, we're supposed to put. Never mind. I'm going to go on an ADHD moment. Let's not do that. Well, I'll keep y'all here for 3 hours just ranting about stuff, so we can do that.
And now let's thank today's episode sponsor, Optiv. The modern enterprise needs a solution as unique as its business. Optiv's Advanced Detection and Response, or ADR, works with your organization to comb through DNR clutter and find the ideal security solutions for your business. ADR delivers tailored detection and response backed by technology, real-time intel, and deep expertise applied at touch. Bottom line, ADR finds and neutralizes threats fast, so you can focus on what matters. If you'd like to learn more about Optiv ADR, visit optiv.com/ADR.
All right, so now we listen to the CISO series ad. I want to take 5 quick, or about 10 seconds, and just promote myself if I can. We have a pretty cool June cybersecurity webinar coming up tomorrow, I believe, on our Barricade Cyber. We have folks from Dark Cubed, Blackpoint Cyber, some MSPs as well, and we kind of definitely go around our monthly review of cybersecurity topics, and we just shoot the trash, right? So a lot of people from 3-letter agencies that are now running businesses in the cybersecurity space. It's a pretty cool talk. I think that happens around 12:30 tomorrow, so definitely go subscribe to Barricade Cyber if you will. And I've mentioned this podcast before. This is definitely a spicy podcast, the unnamed podcast, where a bunch of security first MSPs and myself, and maybe every once in a while we'll have a cybersecurity other person on there. Sometimes we drink beer, but it's ultra spicy, full of disclaimers in the beginning. So if you're looking for ultra spicy from me and some of my friendly cohorts, definitely check out the unnamed podcast that will broadcast on Friday. So anyway, thanks for going through that. We'll continue on.
Carnival Fine for data breach. The cruise company agreed to pay $1.25 million as a result of a 2019 breach, which saw information leaked on 180,000 customer employees in the U.S. Carnival discovered the breach in May 2019, but did not disclose it until March 2020. The breach exposed names, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, and credit card information, resulting in lawsuits from 46 attorneys general. As part of the fine, Carnival also agreed to implement a breach response plan and undergo independent security assessments.
For those who are saying the link, just go to youtube.barricadecyber.com. It takes you to the channel, all that stuff. It's just a direct thing, so that way you can see everything. So youtube.barricadecyber.com. So back to Carnival. Good that Carnival Cruises are getting paid or have to pay millions of dollars for a data breach. These companies need to be more upfront. They need to be going through and doing proper security, things of that nature, right? So, but let's be honest with ourselves, right? $1.5 million is a drop in the bucket to these folks. It's not going to hurt them on their financial balance sheets, right? It's really not. I mean, that's probably a half a month or a full month now that I think Carnival's in full production now, right? I don't think they're having any restrictions at all on cruise lines or anything like that. People are traveling again, things of that nature. I'm not as versed to the travel restrictions, because of monkeypox and all this other stuff. I kind of live in my own little bubble, unfortunately. But in a normal year, I know for a fact that $1.25 million is going to be a drop in the bucket for them, right? So so Jerry, hey Jerry, what's going on, man? I didn't know you was watching me. I'm probably gonna be in trouble with some of the words I said. But yeah, 20 billion in 2019 Carnival revenue. So yeah, see, this is a drop in the bucket. And then what about the people? This is the worst part, in my honest opinion. This is the worst part. Anytime these data breaches come out and you may be part of the people who are impacted, how many times have you seen pennies or dollars paid out to the affected user? Right? I can count this so many times. Like, oh well, I was part of the, the data breach. Oh, here's your check for $3.25. This is part of your restitution because everybody claimed. And I'm not saying nobody should file for restitution of having their data stolen, but when it comes down to the actual person, they don't really get that much. So, I mean, it's a good headline that may scare businesses to do more, like the smaller companies, but this is, like I said, it's really a drop in the bucket for them. The people affected are not getting really, much money. You can't even go to the drive-through and get a Big Mac or something like that. Pick your favorite fast food restaurant. But it's crazy.
The power of DAOs are surprisingly concentrated. Decentralized Autonomous Organizations, or DAOs, have been touted by Web3 advocates as a way to democratize management of organizations of all sizes, providing voting power using distributed governance tokens on organizational decisions. These tokens can subsequently be traded on secondary markets. As part of its State of Web3 report, Chainalysis found that among 10 major DAO tokens, less than 1% of all holders had 90% of voting power. While this certainly had an impact of how much voting power a token holder has, it also impacts how proposals get made within DAO in the first place. Chainalysis found that between 0.1% and 0.01% of token holders had enough holdings to create a proposal. The report said this concentration of power likely led to the temporary vote on the Solend lending protocol to drain the account of a large whale, something that was proven extremely popular with the majority of token holders and subsequently rolled back.
All right. So there's a lot of information, and I've said it before, my knowledge on cryptocurrency and things of that nature is very limited. But here, I'm going to give you my understanding of this and try to explain how this is really a big impact. So in the cryptocurrency, we'll just use Bitcoin as an example. DAO is a cryptocurrency. I'm not sure if it's dependent on Ethereum or anything like that, but it is we'll use Bitcoin as an example. You have a bunch of miners who are mining the currency to get money out of it. And then we would see, validators that are part of the pool that would validate transactions against the blockchain. Once you have enough validators that are there, well, AKA you've got, a committee, a council saying that, yes, Jerry broke the law by, smashing his laptop like he did on the printer of Office Space, right? Once you have enough validators to actually put this thing in and say, okay, it is, this is correct, this is good, this is true, then everybody says, yes, this is correct, this is true. The problem with this is when you have too much of a pool, group of pools that are the primary validators for a cryptocurrency, they can literally go in and be subjected and say, you need to blame Carl for stealing the company's pins or the red stapler from I'm in the Office Space state kind of day. So Carl went over there and stole that red stapler. My stapler. Anyway, so they say Carl stole this red stapler and is not filling out his TPS reports. So now everybody is now saying, yes, Carl stole that stapler and it's not filling out his TPS reports, right? So it goes against the validity of that cryptocurrency. It makes it very unstable. That's why they had to roll it back, right? They realized the people who are founding and watching and monitoring the blockchain is like, well, this is a big damn problem. This Carl didn't really steal that stapler. We need to roll this thing back and correct the blockchain. So this is not good. The one thing that I do know, I have to Web3 ownership. I got to study up on the Web3. I'm assuming Web3 is on blockchain, kind of like Tor is on its own network. Again, that's a little bit of my ignorance, and I'm sorry about that, but I think so. But yeah, I mean, cryptocurrency is definitely something I'm constantly studying. It's there's a big landscape to cryptocurrency. So um, anyway, like I said, I'll go full ADHD on keep y'all here for 3 days and make everybody want to play in traffic if I keep on.
Loses a city's worth of personal data. The Japanese news source NHK reports that an unnamed contractor working to distribute pandemic subsidies in the city of Amagasaki lost a USB stick containing personal information on the city's 460,000 residents after passing out from a night on the town. This included names, tax details, social security records, and addresses. The data was encrypted on the stick. After waking the loss, the USB stick was found, and officials did not find evidence anyone attempted to access information.
Oh, God bless us all. This is a Carl move, guys. Yeah, poor Carl. He's getting blamed previously for stealing the red stapler, and now he's going out there having a drunken binger and losing encrypted USB disks or drives. Right? I mean, this is fudge. How can I properly put this without getting in a bunch of trouble? This really goes into the security of your organization, right? I mean, granted, you can't control your team members in your organization 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? But maybe you should do a little bit more vetting of your team members and put maybe proper policies and procedures in place to say, this is what you are allowed to do with a USB. Like, okay, I'm going to give, and I normally have like 5. Okay, here we go. All right, Carl, here's your USB. Only take it to the safety deposit box at the bank. You don't you don't stop and get a Twinkie or a Sprite or a Big Mac. You go straight to the bank and you deposit this into the safety deposit box. Like policies and procedures, right? Apparently, this company may or may not have had them. I don't see anything in the article about that, but apparently, freaking this guy decides just to, stick it in his pocket and freaking go out and do whatever he wanted to do. I mean, this is classic. This is also known as insider threat. It does fall into that. Granted, thankfully, the drive was encrypted, maybe by Windows BitLocker or some other third-party tool. So a lot of times you could be able to see, if that key was accessed, because sometimes they do modify, depending on the drive encryption, there will be, last access time and things of that nature. So, but there's also, so in the DFIR world, digital response, I can stick an encrypted thumb drive into my workstation, and the only where it's going to show up that file is actually accessed is that workstation. It's not going to show up on that thumb drive. So I'm not sure how much of the digital forensics have been done to actually ensure that no data was done. Again, they don't list a third party, but I'm just saying like a Windows BitLocker, if you will, because it's widely available and it's free. There's going to be, unless you write new data to that thumb drive, there's not going to be whatever, right? It's keep an eye on things. Maybe hire Jerry for your company to do policies and procedures. He is a CISO after all. So do better, people. Don't be like the Japanese contractor.
Sky Mavis to reimburse victims of Ronin bridge hack. Sky Mavis, the developer of the blockchain game Axia Infinity, will start reimbursing victims of the cyber attack that stole $617 million in crypto assets earlier this year. On June 28th, players will be able to withdraw 1 Ether token for each one lost in the attack. Notably, this will reimburse users in kind of Ether lost in the hack, not the value at the time it was stolen. Given the drop in crypto prices as of late, this means Sky Mavis will return about $216.5 million worth of crypto to users. The company will also restart the Ronin software bridge that was targeted in the attack. It's unclear if the reimbursement will change the game's fortunes. Bloomberg reports that as of May, daily active users have dropped to a quarter of its 2.7 million peak in November 2021. Be sure to check out the...
Alrighty. Why would anybody... Oh, Jimmy Christmas. Jerry, I'm trying to be good. I promise I'm trying to be good, buddy. But why in the world would anybody put their money in a Bitcoin, in a Ethereum, or any other blockchain to pay for a game? No, don't get me wrong. You know, I play Call of Duty on the Xbox, things of that nature. You know, I get buying stuff for games. My kids play Roblox, all that stuff, right? I get the concept of doing that, but why would you use cryptocurrency to do this? Especially when, you know, you see right here, okay, oh, I thought that was money. That's an actual time. Okay. But let's just say, you know, you got to spend $5 to get an axe. You spend $5, change it over to cryptocurrency. By the time you do the gases and everything else, it's maybe $2. It may be $20, you know, in 5 minutes. Cryptocurrency is so wild, and here in the past couple of months, it's taken just a complete effing dump. Where, you know, if you're following it, earlier this year it was $60,000. Now it's like 2021. I haven't checked what the price is today, but it was hovering around 21,000 yesterday. So it's, and I'm not against blockchain, you know, and those who don't know, blockchain and cryptocurrency are two different things. And I did see someone mention in the comments earlier that Web3 is on the blockchain, not necessarily crypto, but yeah. So thanks for confirming that Web3 is blockchain. That's pretty cool. But like I said, there's more about that I need to learn. I know it's a newer emerging technology, so I definitely need to get up to speed on that, some of that stuff. But anyway, back to this one. So apparently, you know, they had their crap hacked and cryptocurrency was stolen from them, and now they have to repay. So it is interesting. One thing to note, you remember Carnival? $1.25 million. This gamer company, $591 million. There's a gaming company has to pay more to have cryptocurrency stolen from them than a data breach from Carnival. You know, maybe like somebody right now or earlier said, you know, maybe it's just a name recognition impact against Carnival, but I'm sure this is going to be a more, you know, this does look like, when I'm reading this first sentence here, this is going to be a one-to-one payback. That's probably why it's $591.2 million. They're actually paying back the victims who were actually that had their funds stolen from them. It's not going through, you know, attorney generals and through the legal process and all that garbage, right? So, you know, that's probably why that payment is higher. But I don't know why you would want to use cryptocurrency for this, but maybe it's just not my bag, right? So anyway, thanks everybody. That will wrap up today's CISO series podcast for today. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure to be here. Thanks again to Jerry for allowing me to guest host him while he is taking care of some personal items this week. I'm sure Jerry has said that there are going to be some other guest hosts this week. So stay tuned and see who comes on tomorrow and Thursday. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. And above all else, if anything in here you thought somebody would be able to benefit from the knowledge that was shared today, please share it with somebody. Help spread the message. Help spread Team Live hashtag so that way Jerry has to create more swag and stuff for the group. And we'll kind of go from there. With that, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.